Alright guys, here we go. Most of you did really good with multiplying and dividing integers, so now we're going to work on adding and subtracting integers. This is where things get a little bit dicey, so we got to really make sure that we're paying attention and asking questions here. Alright, I'm going to make this into two separate videos. We're going to start with adding integers. Alright, adding integers. Alright, so regardless of what happens here, we're going to have a number, a plus sign, and then a number. Okay, it's because we're adding integers. Alright, adding integers. Make sure we're all on the same page. Alright, so regardless of what happens here, you need to remember two things. Alright, number one is that you keep the sign of the larger if your signs are different, and that you keep the sign of the larger value. I'm going to write absolute up here in parentheses, and I'll explain what that means in a minute. Just want to make sure you have this down. Alright, then keep the sign of the larger. So if your signs are the same, add and keep the sign. Okay, that's pretty important right there. Alright, so here we go. If your signs are the same, let's talk about that first. Alright, so if you got a number, say 4 plus 7, obviously that's 11. You've been doing that since you were probably 6 years old. Alright, but where this comes into play is, say you got a negative 6 plus a negative 10. Alright, when we did multiplying and dividing, the rule was that if your signs are the same, your answer was positive. But this is completely different because we're not multiplying or dividing anything here. We are adding, and our signs are the same. Okay. So we have a negative sign here and a negative sign here, therefore our signs are the same. And that's negative 16. Alright, the way you could think about that is, if you owed somebody $6 and then you owed them 10 more, how much would you owe them? Which is negative 16. Owing insinuates that you have a negative amount of something. Okay? Alright, so just so we can see that again, negative 14 plus a negative 20. Signs are the same, so we add the numbers. So the numbers would combine to make 34 and keep the sign. Alright. Over here, another simple example. 11 plus 8. Both signs are the same. Add and keep the sign. We kept the positive sign here. We kept the negative sign here. Okay? Alright. Now pay close attention right here. Alright, so you only keep the sign of the larger absolute value if your signs are different. So let's say you have, remember we're doing addition problems here. Alright, let's say you have negative 11 plus 6. Alright, you're adding two different integers, one being negative 11 and one being 6. Alright, so number one, this is the biggest thing you need to do. Oh, running off the screen there. Subtract. Subtract. That's super important. Down here we added the numbers. Here we have to subtract the numbers. When I say numbers, I literally mean the numeric value. 11 minus 6. You say, okay, Mr. Hunsinger, why are you subtracting when it's an addition symbol? Good question. The reason we're doing that is because this value is negative and this value is positive. So essentially, if you rewrote this to be a subtraction problem, it would be 6 minus 11. Alright, just keep that in mind. Signs are different. Alright, so you got to subtract here. Just the numeric values, 11 minus 6 would be 5. Okay, so that's where we get our number. But we got to determine what goes here. Is it positive or negative? Keep the sign of the larger value. Alright, when I say value, 11 is the value I'm looking at. 11 is bigger than 6. So we're going to keep that and make it negative. Now some of you might be thinking, alright, well how is negative 11 greater than 6? That's when the absolute value part comes in. Alright, so the absolute value of a number is the distance away from 0 on a number line. Alright, so the absolute value of negative 11, how far is negative 11 away from 0 on a number line? 11 away. How far is 6 away from 0 on a number line? 6. So the negative value carries. I know that seemed like a lot. Let me work through a couple more real quick. Signs are different. So let's do 14, negative 10. Okay. Yes, we're adding. Yes, we are adding. But this one's negative and this one's positive. Okay, so my signs are different. Now, I like to tell students this. If you have a plus minus next to each other, that simply becomes a minus. Alright, so if you have a plus minus, so this is plus minus, you can actually rewrite this just to be 14 minus 10. Alright, but let's just focus on what we're doing. So we got 14 is the numeric value, 10 is the numeric value. Our signs are different, therefore we subtract. 14 minus 10 is 4. Which value is larger, 14 or 10? 14. Okay, so you're going to keep the positive sign, and that is your answer. Alright, so let's do negative 25 plus 10. Alright, signs are different because this is negative, this is positive. So then we're going to subtract the numbers. 25 from 10, which is 15. And then we're trying to figure out which number is bigger out of 25 and 10. Since 10's big, 25 is bigger, we're going to keep that negative symbol. Alright. One more over here. 23 minus 30. Okay. So I got numbers with different signs. This one's negative. This one's positive. Alright. So subtract the numbers. 23 minus 30 minus 23 is 7. Which one has the larger value, 30 or 23? 30. Therefore you keep the sign that goes with it. Negative 7. Alright, if you have any questions about this, please come let me know.